Hi, I'm Peter Fasciano from Whiskey is a Journey. Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. Today, I've got an Islay peated single malt review coming at you. We're looking at the Lagavulin 8-year. Let's go ahead and pour it, nose it, taste it, and talk about it a little bit. So Lagavulin 8 is an 8-year-old single malt. It's coming in at 48% ABV, 96 proof. It's coming out of Diageo, so I'm not really sure on this information. If you know definitively if this is natural color or non-chill filtered, let me know in the comments down below. It's a 750 milliliter bottle, and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and at the time that I purchased this bottle, it was $64.99. Your market might be a little bit different. I'm always curious on where people are watching from and what they're paying in their market, so if you can, leave some comments down below. So based on the ABV and the color, I kind of want to say that this is natural, and since it's above that 46% ABV mark, I'm also thinking that it could be non-chill filtered. And before I even get this thing up to my nose, I can definitely smell the peat. Now, there is a specific reason why I am reviewing the Lagavulin 8. It kind of has a special part in my journey, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's get this thing on the nose. All right, up front, behind the peat, there is a distinct grilled peach and grilled pineapple note. Comes across as pretty sweet, get a little bit of salty brininess, and the peat that I'm getting, peat in general for me falls into 3 categories. It has the medicinal iodine Band-Aid note, or you start drifting into that smoky note, a wet log, a campfire, and then you go to the other end where it's a savory note, where you get like a smoked meat side of things. This is falling in between Band-Aid and campfire smoke. Now, I wasn't always able to distinguish the different types of peat or the different notes that are coming out of the glass. So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about the beginning of my whiskey journey. It took a while for me to break through that ABV wall. When I first started, all I got was ethanol, and I had a very difficult time picking up specific notes. About 3 months in, I broke through that wall. I started being able to pick up some lighter fruits and some sugar and vanilla notes. And I was that way for a little bit until I started to crave something a little bit different, and I ventured into peated scotches. The first couple of peated scotches that I had, Highland Park, Kalila, Talisker, they all had the same note, and it was like licking an ashtray. But that quickly changed once I dipped into this bottle. Not only did I crash through that ABV wall, but I also ended up breaking down the peat wall. And what I mean by that is I started picking up different peated notes within the whiskeys that I was drinking. It wasn't like licking an ashtray. I actually got into the nuances of it. I was also picking up different notes back behind the peat. So let's get this on the palate and talk a little bit about the notes. Cheers, everybody. Right on the arrival, I get those grilled peaches and pineapple sweet notes. Once it hits the mid palate, I get a little bit of barrel char and some vanillas. And as it goes to the back of the palate, that's where all the peat notes start to radiate. You get a little bit of a tarry note, some Band-Aid, and then that campfire smoke kind of starts to creep in. A salty, briny note starts to rise up a little bit, and then a good amount of vanilla and malt start to hit the palate. And again, prior to breaking down that peat wall, all I would have gotten is an ashtray, Band-Aid, iodine, some of those notes that come across in the peated realm that might not suit a beginner palate. But as my body started to adapt to, hey, the alcohol's not going to kill you, and once my palate started to crave a little bit of a different note other than those light, fruity, crispy notes that I was getting in Speyside scotches or Highland scotches, it opened up an entirely new path that I could take within my journey that involved peated whiskeys. So let's start a conversation in the comments down below. Have you had any of these breakthrough bottles that you started to realize, oh, I'm starting to pick up something a little bit different other than the burn of ethanol? And then if you jumped to peated whiskeys, what was the bottle that enabled you to break down or break through that peated wall? Now, is Lagavulin 8 the best peated scotch out there? No, not for me. I mean, it could be for you. Lagavulin 8 is probably somebody's favorite peated whiskey. Is it the cheapest or the most expensive? No, but it is one of the bottles that I started to drink that I realized I got through the ABV wall and I got through the peat wall. And for that reason, this bottle will always have a special part in my journey. So that's all I have for you. If you're interested in learning more about me, you can visit me on YouTube at Whiskey is a Journey, or you can follow me on Instagram under the same name. And don't forget to add to the conversation in the comments down below about the bottles that helped you break through that ABV wall or the peat wall. And wherever you're at in your journey, I hope you're enjoying it, and I'm really glad you're here. Cheers, everybody.